everyone, you know, everyone is in passive state because they don't know what to do. All the sense devatas, they have come and they are all in passive state. They don't know what to do. So like that, Brahma is explaining. So he is saying that how at every stage, Brahma also says that at every stage, because Lord Krishna is personally involved, Lord Vishnu is personally involved, therefore it go into the next stage. Personally involved in the form of Kala, he says. So therefore it graduates to the next stage. Otherwise it would not have graduated. Not only in the form of Kala, he's indirectly involved, we can say. But many times he's directly involved also. For example, when all the sense devatas and tanmatras and all, they are all in a cohesive state. So they don't know what to do. What is the next step? They don't know what to do. So then all the sense devatas, they offer prayers. This comes in third canto, I believe. They offer prayers. There's a whole chapter as to what prayers they offer. Because the universal manifestation has to happen. So they offer prayers as to what should be done. So then Vishnu appears and then he breaks that whole cohesive state into different many universes. And then still it remains, all these universes remain inactive for a period of 1,000 years. And in order to activate them, then Vishnu has to personally enter into it. Garbhodaksha, Vishnu personally enters into each and every universe. And then Brahma goes on to explain, after Garbhodaksha Vishnu enters, what happens is Virat Roop formation. And he is explaining Virat Roop formation just to convince Narad Muni that whatever universal manifestation you are seeing, that is non-different from Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Virat Roop. So like that. So the next chapter is an interesting chapter. Sixth chapter, the whole first part of the sixth chapter is about Brahmaji is explaining that, how from the Virat Roop, he is saying that how Lord Vishnu is both the efficient cause and material cause. The according to Aristotle, there are four kinds of causes for anything. So in which includes material cause, efficient cause, effective cause, one more, I don't remember. So there are four kinds of causes. So Brahmaji is convincing Narad Muni that Vishnu is all kinds of causes. So he explains that how all these different tanmatras and elements and jiva and this and that, all these different kind of elements that are being formed, different all the 23 elements which are being formed, they are all, the cause is Vishnu. So that is how he is trying to explain in the first part of the sixth chapter. Then Brahmaji goes on to explain his own personal experience. He says that when I came, I was all alone, and then I tried to get ingredients for sacrifice. I didn't get any ingredients. So then I collected from the limbs of the Supreme Lord. The limbs of the Supreme Lord himself were the ingredients. Now, when we are saying limbs of the Supreme Lord, I have it's a question for me whether he is referring to the Virat Rupa or whether he is referring to Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Either way, whatever is the answer, at least there is surely they are limbs of the Supreme Lord. There is no doubt about it. So in this way, Brahmaji he is on explaining his own personal experience also, that how Vishnu is the cause of everything. Even for doing devotional service to Vishnu also, we need ingredients from Vishnu only. He tells his own experience. She goes on to say, then he explains all the different Leela avatars also. So he goes on to say that, my dear Narada, don't ever think that I am the Supreme Lord. Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Lord. So like that, just because you are seeing everything that I am doing, please don't think that I am the Supreme Lord. But Lord Vishnu is there behind. He is the cause of all causes. Fifth chapter is entitled. Second chapter, fifth chapter is entitled Cause of All Causes. So like that. So this description is given time and again in Srimad Bhagavatam repeatedly in order to explain that how uh, there are different things happening in this universe, but Vishnu is the cause of all causes. And each and every step, it's not that Vishnu is, okay, he has, the Kala has impregnated Prakriti, and then Vishnu has impregnated Prakriti with Jivas and all that, and then he has gone to sleep. No. At every step he is involved. Like we see in Samudra Manthan Leela, for example, another example. Every step Vishnu is involved. Mhm. First of all, he tells Devatas, go and make a truce. Devatas, they go and try making a truce. And then they come, and then nobody is able to lift that hill. Then Vishnu comes, he lifts that hill. Garuda lifts that hill. And then they come, they try to balance it, it's not balanced. Then Vishnu goes below in the form of Kurma, and he goes on the top in the form of Ajita. So every step Vishnu is involved. It's not that in the beginning he is involved. Sometimes we think, okay, uh, in the morning we remember Krishna. Throughout the day we are engaged in different activities. So we may not remember Krishna. That is okay. It is fine. But then a better understanding is in the morning we remember Krishna, and throughout different activities also we remember Krishna. And and as we advance in Krishna consciousness, we get to see Krishna's hand every time. There's a story in Mahabharata. It's a general story. So Arjuna is, every day Krishna tells Arjuna, "Ma manusmara yuddha cha." मेरे को स्मरण करते हुए युद्ध करो. Remember me and fight. This is somebody, Bhima is doubting, Are, what? Arjuna is remembering Krishna, he is not remembering Krishna. He has to handle Bhishma and Drona and Karna, and when he is in the fire of removing Jayadrath, killing Jayadrath, he is simply bothered. He has to kill, he has to break the Kuru ranks, and how he can remember Krishna. Maybe in the morning he may remember Krishna. That's all. So Bhima is thinking like that. So then Krishna, Bhima is thinking like that, and so Krishna is Paramatma seated in everyone's heart. He knows. So Bhima is thinking like that, and he's moving around in the tent, at night time, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, like that. So he calls Bhima, come with me. So he goes and he tells, my dear Bhima, put your ear into the heart of Arjuna. So he goes and puts his ear there. So Arjuna, instead of his heart saying lub dub, heart palpitation, he's saying Krishna, 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 like that. So that is the extent to which Arjuna is remembering Krishna, despite going through all different activities. So therefore, Arjuna is able to see Krishna in each and every activity, and that's why Krishna is saying "Ma manusmara yuddha cha," means always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Rupa Goswami tells the the essence of all regulative principles which we follow is to always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Yeah. So therefore, we have to make this as a priority to always read. But how do we do it? There are several ways and means. It is the whole process of sadhana bhakti is to inspire us to always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna, and come to the platform of being Krishna conscious 24 hours a day. By definition, pure devotee means one who is Krishna conscious always and is not never materially conscious. So like that. But there are, at the same time, there are a few steps which you can practically follow as well. So we'll discuss about 4 steps which we can practically follow to always remember Krishna, and which will help us to always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna in the course of our daily activities. First step is to find fault with oneself. Keep trying to find fault with it. Generally, our tendency is that we see faults with others and we see good in ourselves. Someone has this much fault, we magnify it this much. If we have this much fault, we demagnify it this much. We think, this way. Everyone has fault. What is big deal of having fault? As far as our faults are concerned. As far as others' faults are concerned, we think, oh, he has such a big fault. He has this problem, that problem. How is he? He's not qualified to do something or whatever. So we just do ulta. We have to do ulta. Find fault with oneself and overlook others' faults. So that will help us when we see faults with ourselves. Of course, we should see faults with ourselves in a healthy way. Otherwise, it will make us go into depression. So that should not happen. But you know, but but you know, but we should see it in a healthy way. There is no doubt about it. Yeah, but we should make this habit of seeing faults with ourselves in a healthy way again. You know, and overlooking others' faults. If someone has some mistake, take it. Anyway, so many people have so many mistakes. This person also has some. It's anyway not so serious. ठीक है चलना चलना दो ठीक है गाड़ी तो चल रहा है ना उसका भी गाड़ी चल रहा है मेरा भी गाड़ी चल रहा है क्या बात बड़ी बात है चलने दो ऐसे just neglect it. So why we are saying that we should find faults with ourselves? When we find fault with ourselves, that inspires us to take shelter of Krishna. Prabhupada writes in 6th canto, in the section of Ajamila, Prabhupada says that one should always see how fallen we are. Always means 24 hours a day. Because before becoming Krishna conscious, we become humble. So therefore, we try to see faults in ourselves. One should always see faults in oneself. Like that, to that effect, Prabhupada writes. So we should find faults with oneself. Second step is when we deal with matter, we have to spiritualize matter. Whatever matter which we deal with, we have to rationally understand what should be avoided so that it doesn't entangle us, and what should be accepted so that it will help us in our Krishna consciousness. And whatever we are accepting, we have to also understand how to spiritualize it. Basically, this is the principle of Yukta Vairagya. Whatever is favorable for Krishna consciousness, whatever matter which is favorable for Krishna consciousness, we accept it. Whatever matter which is unfavorable for Krishna consciousness, we reject it. And when we accept it, we offer it to Krishna and thus spiritualize it. So, because we have to deal with lot of matter, we were discussing that how just to exist in this world, we have to deal with lot of matter. We have to deal with people who are materialistic. We have to deal with activities which are materialistic. We have to deal with objects which are materialistic. So in this way, there are so many materialistic things which we have to handle. So how do we handle them? So sometimes in the course of handling materialistic things, we tend to over accept. Rupa Goswami condemns it. He says, Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo nimagraha. Janasangascha laulyamcha. All, whatever materialistic things, if we are over accept, atyahara, over accumulation, over speaking about my materialistic things. Prajalpo, atyahara prayasascha, over endeavor. Prajalpo, niyamagraha, over following rules and regulations. Janasanga, over associating with materialists. Laulyamcha, over greed. So this is over. So that we should not do. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in Bhakti Aloka, but we also should know how to spiritualize it. How do we spiritualize it? We have to accept whatever is helpful for our Krishna consciousness and consider it to be Krishna's mercy by offering it to Krishna. So that makes it Yukta Vairagya. Third step, which is a very important step, is to appreciate devotees, especially their spiritual qualities. Every devotee is a sadhaka. He has both material side and spiritual side. So we overlook material side and we focus on spiritual side. And we appreciate it. Sometimes, many times rather, the same quality, the same characteristic or the same habit in a devotee is helping him spiritually also, but at the same time, it may also uh, become an obstacle for his bhakti as well. Like for example, someone is aggressive, let us say. So if he's aggressive, he's very enthusiastic in bhakti. But he's aggressive, he will also, you know, sometimes give mercy to other devotees. So both things happen simultaneously. I'm just giving an example. I'm just giving an example. So we may have to address the negative side. I'm not denying on that. But then we focus on the positive side. Someone is very soft, let us say. So he is very loving, but at the same time, he is compromising also. It may happen. I'm not saying it is. It may happen. So what is a strength may also become a weakness. So we have to we have when Prabhupada, he met with the Vaishnavas, so he saw their good qualities and he magnified them. Whatever bad which is there, he tried to reduce it. So like that, we keep the negative things in check and we magnify the positive things, because we can't change the nature of a person, right? Nature of a person cannot be changed drastically. To some extent, it may be changed. So like that. So we focus on the positive side and we overlook the negative side, or help dealing with the negative side. Last but not the least, probably the most important, is to always endeavoring to always remembering Krishna. So therefore, we have a regulation in our life. We try to follow a regulation in our lives. It's not so happen that we become so busy that we give up the regulations. We have a regulation, minimum regulation, chanting 16 rounds. It is the regulation. Similarly, we also try to follow regulations for reading, hearing, remembering Krishna. So generally, the problem is not that we don't have time. The problem is we don't have interest. That is the general problem. Because say many times we have time, but our mind is just not absorbed. And because it's not absorbed, we have to absorb it in something else. So therefore regulation is important. Therefore regulation is important, because by nature we are not absorbed. Therefore we have to compel ourselves by making a regulation. Sadhana bhakti means a regulation. We follow rules and regulations. Therefore, it's called as sadhana bhakti. Otherwise, we would have been raganuga bhaktas, right? We would have been spontaneous bhaktas, or raganuga and or bhava, bhaktas, spontaneous devotional service. If we would have been inspired by Krishna himself, then we would have been raganuga or bhava bhaktas. But because we are inspired by rules and regulations and Guru and Shastra's message of Guru and Sadhu and Shastras, therefore we are sadhakas. Therefore, the process of bhakti which we are following is sadhana bhakti. So these are some of the means and ways and means by which we can try to remember Krishna always in our lives. So 4 steps we'll again repeat. First is to trying to find faults with oneself and overlooking others' faults. then to accept uh, to accept whatever matter which is favorable for Krishna consciousness and to reject whatever is unfavorable, whatever we are accepting it, we spiritualize it. Thirdly, to appreciate the positive side and overlook the negative side of devotees. And fourthly, follow the regulative principles of devotional service, chanting, reading, and hearing. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions or comments? Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.